All right. Ready? Hi, this is Laurie.
This is Peter.
And
And
this is Ryan.
yes, we have Ryan joining us again today. And we're here with another review, this time of Thor Love and Thunder, the latest Marvel movie that just came out. What was it? Last Friday? When did
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
Yeah, last Friday. Okay. Yeah, because we saw it Sunday. Okay. So this is his latest, what is it, Thor 4?
Yep.
I forget. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
And bringing back Natalie Portman to the franchise. So, and again, Taika Waititi returning to direct. Anybody who wants to go first? What did you think of Thor: Love and Thunder?
Well, I hope you don't mind. I'll go first.
You want to go first?
Yeah. Um, I
Uh oh.
it was a landmine.
It was a landmine.
It, yeah, blew both my legs off.
Oh, that's right. You saw it twice because you saw it.
Yeah.
You went, what was it, Thursday night or Friday night? I forget. Anyway, that
Thursday
doesn't matter.
night I saw it,
Snuck
and
off without me.
yeah, and I didn't like it at all. Then I looked at some reviews and other things, and they said it is a comedy. And I said, okay, I need to go back and see it in that frame of mind. And I did, and I still didn't like it.
Oh my goodness. Still
Oh,
didn't like it. Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I can see because you mentioned to me, yeah, when you saw it and you said, I don't, what was that about? I was like, well, it's a comedy. It's Taika Waititi. It's going to have some crazy stuff in it. So it's interesting to see you still, even this the second time, you weren't feeling it. Ryan, how did you feel about the movie? I saw what you typed on Facebook already, but why don't you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. In fact, I just came back from seeing it a second time
Oh,
today.
wow.
Yeah,
See,
so
Peter?
I'm in a unique situation because um I'm one of the few people that like Thor: The Dark World, that like the first two Thor movies.
I actually
So,
like the first two Thor movies too.
oh,
So,
okay, so I'm not
yeah,
the only one.
right.
So Ragnarok came along, it sort of pulled the rug from under my feet, because Ragnarok took the franchise in a totally different direction, and storylines that had been established in the first two films were dropped.
Hmm.
Um, and the biggest thing was, or at least to me, was that Jane Foster's character had been dropped. So
Right, right.
I wasn't too big a fan of Ragnarok for those reasons, among others. But when I saw they announced this film and that Natalie Portman was going to come back, I was immediately on board, because I am a
Mhm.
fan of her both as an actress and with the work she's done in the Thor franchise. So I was very excited to see her return. I was also excited that there was the return of some cameos. They were brief, big characters like Darcy or Doctor Eric
Hmm.
Selvig, I think is his name. I
Yeah,
mean, they were
yeah.
in there briefly for a few seconds, but I was glad to see that, to show that Taika was acknowledging some of the franchise history from the early films.
Okay.
Those
Yeah, yeah.
those were small
Yeah.
things to me that made a big difference. I knew it was going to be a comedy, knowing from what Taika had did with Ragnarok. And not only was he directing, this time he was co-writing. So I knew it was
Mm.
going to be definitely
Oh,
infused with a lot of comedy,
Bad
which
idea.
I've seen some people complained about. They thought he maybe went too far with the comedy this time, but I wasn't really phased by it. I knew what to expect. Um, I've gotten a little bit more used to Taika with his work on Mandalorian when he did the finale of
oh, that's
season
right. He
one,
did that too. Yeah.
and I thought he did a very good job there. That was kind of when he finally won the
Yes.
Oscar, was with his work on the Mandalorian.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the comedy, it didn't bother me. I really enjoyed it both as an action film, um, both with the comedy as well, and also with the character development, both for Thor and for Jane Foster. If there was one criticism, I might have to say it would be for the character of Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, was she was kind of Her character wasn't used very much. It was just kind of She was just kind of there on the sideline, and it didn't seem like they had a plan of what to do with her character. I know when the movie was announced, she was supposed to have a story arc where she was going to be finding her queen,
Mm-hmm.
and somewhere along the way that story got dropped. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it got dropped at the script level or it got dropped in the level of the editing room, but somewhere along the way that got cut out. I know there was some scenes with Lena Headey that were cut out, so maybe she was involved with that. I don't know, but yeah, that's the only criticism I could think of is that I would have liked to have had Valkyrie more involved with her own story arc.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
Thor and Jane both had their time to shine, but Valkyrie sort of got shafted a bit, I think. But all in all, I enjoyed it and definitely recommend it to everyone. Although I know it's getting mixed reviews. Some people like it, some can't stand it. Some are kind of middle of the road. They're kind of all over the place.
Well, I'm going to continue with all over the place because I'm kind of in between the two of you. There was stuff I didn't like and I felt was a missed opportunity, and there was stuff I did like. I thought they did really well, and I like Taika Waititi. I get you're saying, like, Ryan. Like, I like the first two Thor movies, and I enjoyed Ragnarok, but like it was such a big switch, and all the praise it was getting and the love it was getting, I kind of didn't get. you know so I haven't even gone back to watch that one. But like I said, Taika Waititi, I like them, like Mandalorian. I love this film, Jojo Rabbit, that came out a couple of years ago. I thought that was amazing. You remember that one, Peter? Yeah, that was, and
I do.
balancing some
Love that.
nonsensical humor with some very serious subject matter. He can do that. So this movie coming along, I knew it was going to be a comedy. That's his background. That's what he does. He had Jojo Rabbit had Hitler as a comedic character in the movie. So I just thought it was so it was too comedy focused in the first half of the film. It went at the expense of character development, I thought. There was, like, instead of like taking something serious that they laid out, they instead decided to take a joke, to lay a joke there. Was it Christian Bale is playing the villain? I think he's amazing. He looked amazing.
Yeah.
He had moments of menace that I was like, oh my God, this could be a great movie villain. And then they have him tell jokes. They have him like do a comedy scene. I'm like, no. And it just kind of undercuts just how this could have been an amazing villain. And so I don't think that, like, till the second half of the movie, when they started focusing on Jane Foster and Natalie Portman and the cancer storyline and how that affects them, that I like this movie. Did it get interesting to me? They toned down the joking and took something serious for change. And it's like, okay, this is interesting. I will say that the action, I really love the action scenes in this and the visual elements in that second half. Marvel gets a lot of criticism for their action looking very like all the same and just kind of this, flurry, or just a lot of things coming at you at once that's not as really distinct or distinguished. And I thought this was kind of unique and had its own style, visual style and interest. And I found that really cool and interesting, especially for a Marvel movie. They stepped up the game there. But so I'm mixed. I was like, yeah, it was better than Doctor Strange for me, than the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Yeah, it is definitely better. It's not I don't feel it's a bad movie, but I do think the comedy is a little too heavy-handed for my taste in the first half of the film. But all in all, like, once that second half kicked in, I really enjoyed the storyline where it went.
Well, let me say this. Natalie Portman, that's
Yes.
her name?
Yes.
Okay. Brian, she is hot beyond hot.
She's been in
Okay.
the game a long time.
So
She looks
and
fantastic in the movie too.
if
Yeah.
if if I
Well,
like
except when she was
Thor
sick.
so much that I say it's a 10 out of 10, um The Dark World was 8 out of 10. Ragnarok was, and I was just like, I don't think I'm going to like this movie. And I would say that was 11 out of 10.
Ah,
Hmm.
okay.
And then this movie, I just totally hate it.
Oh
Oh
man.
wow.
Wow. You
Yeah.
are yeah, you are not feeling it. I would feel bad because the comedy is so it's so just all
It,
comedy, all just like absurd,
yeah.
whatever they can make a joke out of, they do. That in the
Yeah.
beginning, that if you weren't
And
expecting it to be a comedy, you'd be like, what is going on?
yeah.
You know?
And I do have to say that the director and writer took chances because you had cancer, but you tried to pair it with comedy. You had a great villain. I would say he's only maybe he's just a rung under Darth Vader as a villain.
He could have been.
Yes.
He could
And
have been, I
then
think.
they
And
just
they
they
didn't.
were going down the street at 150 miles an hour and turn and smash right into a wall.
Yeah, because yeah, I just love the costume design, the makeup, and you get Christian Bale. And it reminded me of we just watched a movie called The Black Telephone, which is a horror movie with what's his name in it? Oh God, Ethan Hawke is in it. And you get these caliber of actors who just can really just put something in a role. And this is first time maybe I've seen them play evil, and I'm like, they are scary. They're so good at just embodying some like evil, and let them do it. you know they let Ethan Hawke do it, and it's like Christian Bale at certain moments. And then and spoiler alert, his character has this, I mean, even the transition from the beginning, he's this the guy, a man of faith, and he loses his daughter, and he learns that the God he was praying to was not really worth anything praying to, and turns evil, and like the instant turn, and then at the end he does another instant turn. So like if he would have gone full evil like he could have, I don't know if those turns would have worked. you know it would have been, the turns were too, that they had them written weren't um significant enough, weren't strong enough to like buy the level of evil that Christian Bale could have brought to this role. So it's I want to see him evil now. I want to
Yeah.
see him as a bad guy so bad now. And I'm sure he's
Yeah.
played one. I have to find something that he's been in. So but
He is such a great actor.
mhm.
And the role he played in this movie, I don't almost feel, I definitely feel they wasted him.
Yeah, I that's like they could have done a lot more. That's all. I'm glad we got what we got, but it's like, oh, you know, wasted opportunity, I would say. Yeah. So, any other thoughts
Yeah.
on
Um,
Thor: Love and Thunder? They're gonna
well,
do another one.
yeah.
Uh,
I know for me, I'd had the hope going
mhm.
into this film. I didn't know how long Chris Hemsworth is going to stay with the character.
Oh,
So I kind of had this idea that, well, maybe he might be passing the baton to Natalie Portman. Uh,
oh,
but spoiler warning to the
That ain't
beginning
happening.
of the movie,
yeah.
that's not going to happen since her character dies. On the flip side, though, we do see in the post-credit scene that she's brought to Valhalla, so we could theoretically see her character again
Yeah.
in some form or some shape or form. So that gave me a little bit of hope, that post-credit scene,
Mhm.
that we still might see her in a future Marvel project.
Yeah, and she did a good job in this movie. I don't. Again, it's like they didn't take. I don't know. It's a Marvel movie. How serious do you want to portray something? And it's like I don't. You have somebody of the caliber of Natalie Portman. It's like, let her sink her teeth into some. Give her something to sink her teeth into. You bring her in. But yeah, she's been in the franchise for a while. I do like you mentioning that Taika Waititi kind of wiped her out of it in the third movie. And it's like, what happened to this character? I hate when they do stuff like that. So it's great to
Yeah.
see her back as well. Anybody? That's right. They had a lot of cameos in this movie, which a lot of fun cameos. I meant to go back to see who was who. There was it Matt Damon and the stage play and Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy.
And I was like, who's playing? I was looking at who's playing the Thor because it looks just like Chris Hemsworth, but it's his brother. One of his brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought about it like, oh, that had to be one of his brothers. So, and who else was out? There were a few. Yeah.
And the thing was, didn't they use the more or less the same actors as they did when uh, uh, what you call it was playing his father?
Oh, who was it? Oh, who was playing his father's side? Oh, see, I should have looked this up. Oh, when
Oh, you're talking about Thor's father?
Thor's
Yes,
father.
when Thor's brother was actually playing his father.
Oh yeah, who played Odin? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm
Yeah,
forgetting
Thor's
the actor's
brother.
name.
Yeah, but anyway, um, I just not I just can't. I'm not feeling this movie at all.
Okay. Well, I would say you've seen it twice at this point. And
Yeah,
yeah, and I was like, well, I'll give it another chance. But I think once you have twice, that's you're pretty much settled on how you're going to feel about this.
yeah,
You would have preferred they take it more seriously, which
yes,
is
but then um,
yeah,
I guess that's me and my Marvel background and reading, and I really like Thor. He wasn't my favorite,
hmm
but I really liked him in the first movie. I kind of liked him in the second movie. Ragnarok, I thought I would just hate, and I really liked it. And this movie to me was trash.
Oh my gosh,
That's a mystery to me. There's this
that's
Yeah,
interesting paradox where Ragnarok seems to be sort of almost universally praised, and then
yeah,
hmm
it's
yeah,
sort of bewildering to me that a lot of the people who love Ragnarok just aren't feeling Love and Thunder. They're down on Love and
really, really,
yeah, I've seen a lot of people online that way.
yeah,
Either they really disliked it or they're sort of middle in the road. Uh,
okay, okay,
but it's just kind of surprising to me because you have Taika back again, and not only is he directing this time, he's also co-writing. So you're getting even more of Taika in this project. So I don't know. That's just an interesting paradox that I'm seeing. Peter's not alone in that. There's a lot of people that
yeah,
are espousing that perspective.
yeah. It's interesting because a lot
and
of
the thing
yeah.
is that it's always bad to me to see a director also be a writer or part of the writing team because
Oh, he also
he
does
will.
the characters and the stuff too. He's
Okay.
known to like act in the things as well. He might
hmm
have voiced something in this one. I think he
Yeah,
did.
he did
Okay.
Korg.
Yeah, yeah, he
He's the
does. Yeah,
voice of Korg. You know the
right,
Rock
right,
character.
right,
Oh yeah.
right. Yeah.
And you see, I kind of like that character, although I wish they would have followed the comics where he's more menacing.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting, because they thought a lot of people don't like the first Thor movies. It's like it tried to be too serious, maybe too Shakespearean, as I've heard the complaints. And so Ragnarok was a nice twist. It's like that's the way you should do them. And then we get to this, is like, oh, maybe that wasn't the best. Maybe that was just a nice reprieve. I don't know if they should have kept going in this direction. I mean, and it could be a balance thing. I think this tried it more humor than any other Marvel film has, and it was I one of the things I felt the humor wasn't as character based, and like a lot of times, in the Marvel movies, it's the humor is between the characters. It's character based. It's on their personalities clashing, or the differences between them, and they can make fun of that. Whereas this, like I said, you have characters. They're just stopping whatever momentum, whatever story or plot is going on. development, emotion to tell a joke. And it's the tone of the humor is the same. It's like the same person that's telling the joke, but out of different faces and voices. And I think that's a problem when it's not, that feels like more the writer. You're hearing more of the writer's voice than the character's voice. And I felt that throughout the first half of the movie. And so it's interesting. It's like, okay, they thought this was the way to go with Thor's character, but now with all the mixed reviews and some people really not liking it, they're going to have to okay, we need to reconfigure Thor again to figure out how to handle this character.
Well, they've done it once already. It'll be interesting to see if they tweak the character again, or I mean, he is supposed to come back, whether that's a fifth Thor or an Avengers film. It hasn't been announced yet, but he is supposed to be returning in a future project.
How are you guys feeling about this phase of Marvel, what they're setting up? I'm quite, and I don't know the Marvel storylines from the comic books, but it's the first phase reading up to, Infinity Wars, everything seemed to really be building to something. And I can't tell what this is really building to. And, part of it was, I mean, it felt like it was building to stuff. Part of it was I had people who are aware of the storylines. It's like, oh, they're doing this, they're bringing this character in, they're bringing this storyline in to kind of have a roadmap. But so far, nobody's dropped clues. I'm kind of lost as to where they're going with introducing all these characters and different events and things. Different things that's happening in the different movies. Are you guys following along, feeling it?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some criticism there online too, that phase 4 doesn't seem to have a clear direction. There's no lead character that's sort of at the top, like how you have with Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah.
First 3 phases. For me personally, though, I've been enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
If I had to see a common theme amongst the films and the TV shows, it's that most of them, not all, but most of them have been dealing with the multiverse in some way, shape, or form. Either they're dealing with another universe or with another dimension. I mean, we just had that with Miss Marvel, where they're dealing with another dimension like they did in Shang-Chi. And of course, we've had the multiverse both with Doctor Strange and with Spider-Man and on Loki.
That's right.
It seems like they're heading in that direction.
Go ahead.
Well, the only other thing I was going to say is, and this is a huge spoiler for Miss Marvel, if you haven't seen the 6th and final episode.
I haven't watched Miss Marvel.
Well, then I won't say
it. Go ahead. No, go ahead and do it.
Oh, the mutants are coming. So they announced the first mutant in the MCU last night.
Oh.
Which is Miss Marvel herself.
Oh, okay.
So the X-Men can't be far away.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't watched the Miss Marvel series. I started kind of watching it, and I don't know, because I can't relate to today's teenagers. It didn't quite catch. I was like, all right, she's a teenager going through teenage stuff. Or can we move this along, please? So, but I want to hear that, so I might choose to go back. I felt like leading into the multiverse, you had a lot of things setting it up. I thought, the TV series, like the Loki series and all that, bringing that in. So I was expecting the big payoff to be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, between WandaVision and all that, what we had watched. Great shows leading up to something. It seemed they were going to say something. And I think that being such a letdown, it just didn't equate to anything for me, that I was like, okay, where are we going if that wasn't bringing all the things that I thought they were setting up into view. But we'll see. So anyway, I think, I don't know if I have if that's it, anything else to say. We went on Sunday. I finally went to talk Peter into going again Sunday night, and I think I won't go on a Sunday for opening weekend again, because that theater was way too full. It's summer. People had their kids. It was empty when we bought the seats. We had a whole empty section when we got in there. There's like 10 people there. I was like, what the heck? So, but we found some nice. We went to those front row seats that nobody ever sits in. Then, but opening weekend's not for me while COVID's still going on. But anyway, that's Thor, Love and Thunder. Any final words? Leave them in now. It's in theaters now. If you've seen it, tell us what you think in the comments. And we are out.
We are out.
We are out. Thanks for joining it, Ryan. It's great to see you again.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good
Okay,
night.
now.
Okay.